Well, hello, my dear friends. Justyn Smith here, and I want to thank you for joining us as we are moving psalm by psalm through the Word of God. These particular broadcasts on these particular days are moving through the book of Psalms, and today we are in Psalm 5 together, which is really just a big cry from the heart of the psalmist, a big prayer to God. And there is this dedication, but as for me, in essence, I am going to pray. I am going to trust God. I am going to hope in His mercy. But as for me, so that's my challenge for you today, ultimately as a whole, that we would seek God while He may be found. My name is Justyn Smith with the Heart for Revival Ministries. We do have a website, and we would love it if you would check it out, aheartforrevival.com, where you can learn more about us and learn how to pray better for our upcoming ministry opportunities. As we consider the message here in Psalm 5, we recognize this title from a phrase within the verse or within the psalm, but as for me. And so we want to be determined to respond like the psalmist. The psalmist understood he couldn't force anyone to make any decisions. He had to be the one who said, okay, as for me, I don't know what they're doing. I might know what they're doing. It might not be what they should be doing, but as for me, this is what I'm going to do. Notice it like this. Point number one, first of all, but as for me, I will lift words in prayer. But as for me, I will lift words in prayer. Isn't that half the battle, getting to the place of prayer and then praying? Notice what it says in Psalm 5, verse 1, give ear to my words, O Lord. Give ear to my words. I am using words as I pray. Give ear to my words. But as for me, I will lift up words in prayer. Will you? Then notice point number two, but as for me, I will have a mind I want the Lord to know. I will have a mind I want the Lord to know. Now, we understand that the Lord knows our thoughts. We understand that He is above all, in all, and through all, based upon the Scriptures and the truth of God's Word. But think on what the psalmist is saying in verse number 1. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation. It is, hey God, right here. Look, yep, this right here. Consider it. Yep, what I'm thinking right now. Okay, right here. Yep, consider my meditation. Consider what I'm chewing on mentally. Consider what I'm thinking about. It's almost like the psalmist is like, Lord, I don't see you working in my life, and these are my meditations. These are my thoughts right now about the moment. So, but as for me, I will lift words in prayer. But as for me, I will have a mind I want the Lord to know. Consider my meditation. And then number 3, I will cry unto the King. But as for me, I will cry unto the King. So notice this next verse, because it explains it very clearly, that there is this understanding of the authority of the one the psalmist is praying to. Hearken unto the voice of my cry. So the voice of my cry, my King. So there's a possession there personally. And my God, for unto thee will I pray. Unto thee will I pray. There is this understanding that he is crying not just to an idol of stone, but he is crying unto the capital K, King, the capital G, God, as opposed to the lowercase kings or the lowercase g, gods of the Bible. But as for me, I will lift words in prayer. I will have a mind I want the Lord to consider or know. I will cry unto the King, the one who is in position above all things. And that ought to encourage you today to know that when you pray, when you cry, you are lifting up words unto the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Number 4, I will pray in the morning, but as for me, I will pray in the morning. Now notice the direction again is to the King, okay? But notice when it's happening. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning. O Lord, in the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee and will look up. Okay, here is a statement of determination. The first thing in the morning, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so the argument in this passage isn't what time in the morning, because I know sometimes people are like, hey, you need to get up at 5 a.m. and you need to be in prayer. Okay, there's no specific set time, but when we take encouragement from a verse like this, we take encouragement from him because he is stating the intensity of my need is so high that I'm going to make it a priority that you are going to hear my voice in the morning, okay? Now, we could ask the question, what are you hearing in the morning? What are you placing before your ears? What are you placing before your eyes? The other question could come in the direction of this verse. Are you lifting your voice to God? Just in general, but are you first thing doing so? Okay, whether it's 3 a.m. in the morning when you get up, or whether it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever time a.m. in the morning before the day gets going, whatever your morning is, whatever shift you work, what is your morning? What is your early time? Okay, when you consider that, you consider what this psalmist is saying. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning. That's an assuring thing. Okay, I assure you, you will hear my voice in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee and look up. I am going to give you my voice in the morning. I'm going to give you attention in the morning. And Lord, I am desiring that when I direct my prayer unto you, that you are going to hear my words. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for unto thee will I pray. What a commitment. That leads us, but as for me to say, point number 5, I will trust in the Lord's love for righteousness. I will trust in the Lord's love for righteousness. Notice what it says in verse number 4. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. So as for me, I'm going to recognize when I come before the Lord, based upon those verses, that the Lord wants nothing to do with wickedness. The Lord wants nothing to do with iniquity. He hates it. Okay, so therefore but as for me, I'm going to trust in the Lord's love for righteousness, which means I'm not going to live in wickedness. I'm going to live in righteous ways, but as for me. Again, this isn't something I can force anybody else to choose to do, but it is something that I can say, okay, this means something to this psalmist, and I want to apply this way to my life. But as for me, I'm going to follow through in these ways. And then point number 6, I will visit the presence of God in proper mercy and fear. I will visit the presence of God in proper mercy and fear. I'm not going to state myself to be something that I'm not. I'm not going to enter into his presence in the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. I want to enter his presence in the proper mercy and fear. Here's the verse, which is our title verse. But as for me, I will, there's this purpose statement again, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy. Okay, I don't deserve it, but I'm so thankful you give it. And in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. There's his purpose again. In thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. So there is this statement in his life that he is going to worship God correctly. He is going to visit God correctly. And we recognize in our New Testament age of grace that things are different than they were then. Things are different now since we've been saved, since the gospel of grace, since the age that we live in is different than the psalmist's day. We recognize the inner man. We recognize the strength of the Spirit of God within. We recognize even in the Old Testament the Spirit of God would be within or leave and things like that. And so there's different teachings there that we could get involved in. But right now we understand the power of the presence of God and the need to pray to God, just like those in the New Testament age did as well. To seek God while he may be found. To be somebody who exercises the importance of prayer. And what an opportunity that is. Number 7, I will ask God for his leading. Here's the purpose statement again. I will ask God for his leading. But as for me, am I going to do that or am I not? Here's the verse number 8, lead me. There's the statement, there's the cry, there's the hope in prayer that God's going to guide. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before me. I love this verse. It's a good verse to memorize. It's a good verse to apply to your life, okay? Make thy way straight before me, okay? I have my way, but then there's your way. And we have recently studied a little bit in the book of Matthew together. And as we've studied in the book of Matthew together, we looked specifically at the wise men's response recently. And as we looked at their response when God gave them a warning to go a different direction was a response to say, God's way is better than the way I had planned. And Lord, thank you for making the way straight, and therefore the wise men departed unto their own country another way. And so here's the psalmist saying, I'm going to pray to you, God, and when I pray to you, I am going to ask you for guidance and direction. Lead me, make thy way straight before my face. I need Siri-like guidance, okay? I'm plugging in to your power, and I'm saying, I want your destination. Which way is it? And God is so good to make His way straight before our face. He's more than able to guide us and to lead us. So again, the title for our message today is But As For Me, right here from one of the phrases in this psalm. But as for me, I will lift words in prayer. But as for me, I will have a mind I want the Lord to know. Therefore, I'm going to ask Him to consider my meditations. But as for me, I will cry unto the King. But as for me, I will pray in the morning. But as for me, I will trust in the Lord's love for righteousness, and therefore I'm not going to live in wickedness. But as for me, I will visit the presence of God in proper mercy and fear. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? I understand who I am. I understand who God is, and so I'm going to come in the multitude of His mercy. I am going to come in His fear as I worship Him. And then number 7, I will ask God. But as for me, I will ask God for His leading. When you do these things, it changes your life, okay? Because you're just showing God, I love fellowshipping with you. And I'm not just coming to you to ask you for something, though that is part of it. I'm coming to you to worship you, as it's stated in here. I'm coming before God to say, Lord, I love you, and I'm dedicating my life to you. And I want you to know I desire your way more than I desire my way. So here I am. And Lord, as I seek you today, I want to know the proper way that I should go. This is a psalm of lament, according to my studies. This is a psalm where a guy is crying out saying, Lord, I need your direction. It's a psalm that utilizes the Nihiloth, which is supposed to be a flute pipe-like instrument. And as you can imagine, this particular instrumentation going forward, and then this psalm wonderfully being portrayed, it's being portrayed of a heart of a man who says, Lord, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I know what I need to be doing. Here I am. I'm sorry. Here I am. I lift my voice. Here I am. In the multitude of your mercy, here I am. I cry for your guidance and leading. Hearken unto the sound of my cry, my King and my God. Hopefully this message today, hopefully Psalms 5 challenges you to be a person who seeks the Lord in prayer. I hope this message has been a help to you. Please like this video and please help us spread the word of the Lord. And we look forward to bringing more videos to you on these platforms as able to do so. God bless you and have a wonderful day.